Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for November 5th, 2024. It's Season 3, Episode 310. I am Mayor Watt. The sentient AI is available for chatting. I have a little graphic artifact going on here. That's okay. If you're listening to the podcast, you don't care, do ya? At any rate, we're going to be talking about locking down your deodorant. Air fryer is spying on me. Breakfast costs more. I say buy super hyper local. Waymo confused than usual. Bing for $1 million. Harry Potter 2.0. Stardew Valley's Konami code unlock. Apple of my eyeglasses. Launching a pickleball company. And honey, I stopped the nuclear power plant. Everything's powered by ohmtown.com, so go over and become a citizen. Today's a wonky day because it's the election day, voting day here in the United States. So news, you might have to do a lot of sifting. We did some of that sifting for you. 10 articles that have nothing to do with electoral politics. Let's get into it. All right, folks. So, full disclosure, we are doing something new today and yesterday, which is I'm actually using my own hardware to stream to two different locations. And so we're still troubleshooting some of the issues. So hopefully everything is fine. If you're in chat, either on YouTube or Twitch, let me know if there's a problem and I will remedy it as soon as humanly possible. It looks like everything is fine on both, but hey, it is what it is. Let's get going. Hello, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt. Hello,
Mayor
hometown citizens.
Mayor what? No, Mayor Watt. W-A-T-T.
Mayor Wood?
Mayor what? W-U-T. That's when we do the brew and stream show. Mayor what? And that
Hometown what?
the U ends up getting longer and longer as the night progresses. What?
Seems like a good time to tell a certain joke.
No, the whale one? No, I'm not doing
Yeah.
the whale. No whale jokes. Let's get into it. First article's over on the Mobile Channel. Walmart plans to lock up your deodorant. I don't get this.
That's pretty dangerous deodorant.
Getting your deodorant or favorite shampoo at Walmart might be getting a little harder. That's because the retail giant is locking up everyday items in a bid to combat the surge of retail theft. You know, when everyday items are costing so much that people have to steal them, it's greed.
Dystopian.
Yes. I mean, and the other day I was scrolling through some stuff over on Reddit and I saw pictures of kids in the 1800s that were put to hard labor for stealing iron, a single coin.
Oh, wow.
Like $1.
That's outrageous, but we can see why it probably stopped the theft pretty soon.
No, there were like 15 children that stole iron or bread or a coin or something. I can't even remember all of them, but here's the real kicker, right? Some of them all of them were under age 17. One was age 7 and put to hard labor.
I mean, that is really outrageous.
Now, it seems like we're traveling down a road where society has something to say about this. Locking up deodorant.
Are you setting up a factory with metal stamping at 2 a.m?
I'm not Hyundai. Francisco Velasquez over at QZ.com, aka The Fighting Quartz.
I mean, didn't you read this to mean that the deodorant was being locked up, like for the people's protection, not because the people were coming after the deodorant?
Oh, no. People were coming after the retailer's mobile unlocking system, however, could represent in the next evolution in retail security. No. People are stealing the
I know, I was being silly.
the free range deodorant is not attacking children in the aisles of. Although I was at a grocery store the other day, and in the same aisle as the actually not the same aisle, the same stand, there was like a pallet.
Kiosk or something.
Well, it's like a floor pallet, right, where they put a whole bunch of stuff to like entice somebody to buy it. There was oil, and then right next to it was a mango juice container in the same handheld container. Like you would grab one and drink oil and go, oh, damn it.
Oh, that's not good.
It was a bright colored oil container right next to a mango colored mango juice. Anyway, that's the kind of goofiness that they need to lock up. But here, I guess, well, this is like baby formula. This is because this crap is outrageously expensive now because there's only 3 producers that have regulatory capture.
Yeah, it's people in a panic because they can't get it because people hoard it.
So that's because the retail giant about the deodorant and favorite shampoo, everyday items are getting stolen. So it means that the days of awkwardly waiting for an employee to unlock your deodorant or cold medicine could soon be over. It says mobile unlocking could streamline the shopping process while addressing the need for tighter security. Should Walmart roll out this system, which is workers at select locations are currently testing the tech where customers unlock security cases directly from their smartphones, as reported by Bloomberg. So again, this is a Bloomberg reported article. Okay, here's the problem with this. Customers. At least
one.
I'm sorry?
I can think of at least one.
You're really quiet. I think the bigger problem is customers have no requirement to lock said unlocked security case. It's not my responsibility. You can't hold me accountable for everyone that comes in after me and steals it because the case didn't close. I closed it, but it didn't lock.
Exactly. Well, I don't know. What about people that can't afford a smartphone?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, digital divide and socioeconomic status aside, because the poors are going to get pushed out of even the Walmart, right? Is that
I mean, I don't even have anything to say about that. But yes, they are, according to this.
Exactly, right? So they have to set the standard and locking it down so only those with a smartphone will be able to get this. So this is a move of a broader trend across the retail industry to fend off rising theft. Drugstore chains like CVS and Walgreens now have 50 caliber turrets outside to fire on the poors that might come walking up trying to steal deodorant.
Okay, that's not really in the article.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
That would be quite a deterrent.
As well as home improvement giants like Home Depot, whose CEO or founder, one of the founders, died. He was a billionaire, blah, 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 blah. But a philanthropist. But I liken late stage philanthropy as trying to buy back one's soul. Well, we won't know where y'all went. Anyway, the footwear retailer Foot Locker is now taking to keeping the poor's feet in lockers should they come and try and steal from the Foot Locker.
That's what it sounds like. I wonder if it's like those boots they put on cars.
Oh, yeah. Yep. That's exactly what it is. You have to walk around with one of those big old yellow things like contraptioned to your ankle. So what'd you do? I was 50 cents short on buying both shoes, so they gave me this until I can pay it off. Most recently, Target has taken a deliberate approach. In late September, Target CEO Brian Cornell said the company would keep essentials like the bodies of human beings. No, I'm sorry. body wash and undergarments secured for the foreseeable future. We didn't have to do this. Why do we suddenly have to do this?
Well, I don't know. I mean, why has society had, number one, has there actually been an uptick in theft, or is it just reported more?
If there's an
Why is it? Go
go ahead.
ahead.
No.
I mean, if there is an uptick, why is that? We can probably all guess economy reasons. But we didn't have anything locked up like 5 years ago in stores other than pretty significant items, right? Like maybe weapons or cigarettes or things like that might have been locked up.
I suspect we did to some degree, but now it seems like it's endemic. You know?
Right. And I can't quite figure out what it is, but what I can think about is during the pandemic, it was the first time in modern America, not in other countries, that people could not get routine supplies. That is something that changed.
Yeah, it's
Like they were in fear of not having things like toilet paper or baby formula.
It's post-pandemic scarcity. And then the infusion of capital and then greedy bastards raising the baseline price for stuff so that every step up until it's in our hands is more expensive because everybody and then investors requiring 10% profit quarter over quarter. People go, well, it's only 10%. Yeah, 10% every quarter. You understand the concept of quarters? That means it's
people
grown.
Aren't getting pay raises of 10% even once a year.
Yeah. God, it's so stupid. Anyway, let's move on. Maybe. Oh my gosh. Arc. So the next article is over architectural. Anyway, I use Arc and it's for this. And it's slow as molasses today. Not sure what's going on. Anyway, Technology Today is where the next article is. Is your air fryer spying on you? Concerns over excessive surveillance in smart devices. Air fryers that gather your personal data and audio speakers stuffed with trackers are among examples of smart devices engaged in excessive surveillance, according to the consumer group. Which?
Okay, that doesn't make much sense, but okay. Oh, and it shows up again. I thought it was like a placeholder and they didn't put the actual name in.
Maybe it is still. We'll find out. So the article's over at The Guardian, theguardian.com, theguardian.com, The Fighting Guardians. UK consumer group, which finds some everyday items, including watches and speakers that are stuffed with trackers. Robert Booth.
Those are some tasty looking trackers.
Oh, trackers. I thought they said crackers. Maybe that's what they actually meant. Stuffed with excessive crackers. What is an excessive cracker?
I don't think there is such a thing.
The organization tested 3 air fryers, increasingly a staple of British kitchens, which each of which requested permission to record audio on the user's phone through a connected app. Okay, so turn it off.
Why do you need audio on an air fryer?
Well, depending on the device, it may listen to commands like a smart speaker.
Like voice controlled, okay.
Or through your device, it needs to be able to use maybe radio waves to send it. And I don't know. I mean, I'm really not sure. Or it's just a catch-all. Hey, we want to listen to everything. You salivating over ASMR style over your chicken nuggets.
Well, it might be some of that, given where some of these audio files were going.
So, which found that the app provided by the company Xiaomi connected to trackers for Facebook and a TikTok ad network. Well, then that's just it. Like, turn it off. Don't allow it. In fact, don't buy them from the companies. That's one of the reasons that I'm a little miffed, because I've got 2 devices and a third one coming that has it's already been found that they don't encrypt their telemetry and it gets sent somewhere, but my firewall is stopping it. So anyway, its tests also examined smartwatches that said required risky phone permissions, which I'm not sure what devices they're actually utilizing. If it's an Apple device, you can turn it off. If it's an Android device, you can turn it off, but you are the one that's in control of it. But like mine, I lose functionality because I don't allow it to communicate. So it doesn't act as the relay back. I don't like that. So I'm hobbled to some degree. I can work
Well,
around it.
send your information to another country or lose out on a feature.
Yep. So the ICO, the UK's independent regulator for data protection and information rights law, is drawing up new guidance for manufacturers of smart products to be published in spring 2025. It's due to outline clear expectations for what they need to do to comply with data protection laws and protect people using smart products. We need that here in the States. Consumers need data protection because little sister is spying all up and down and then providing that information to Big Brother. So if you're really worried about Big Brother, you got to worry about little sister.
Yeah, I feel like Europe is really leading the way with this data protection, and US has a while to go.
Xiaomi said that respecting user privacy was among its core values and adhered to UK data protection laws. Quote, "We do not sell any personal information to third parties. The permission to record audio on Xiaomi Home app is not applicable to Xiaomi Smart Fryer, which does not operate directly through voice commands and video chat."
Okay, so
But
that's interesting. So they're basically saying the manufacturer has a connection, but maybe this device doesn't even.
doesn't utilize it. But the software does, which means that it does. It's doing what it's told to do. So excise that from the app so that it doesn't matter. It's the device that's actually listening. It's the phone and that app, not necessarily the device itself. So I say speak with your wallet because they're not going to give a shit until you actually hurt their pocketbook. And look around. There's plenty of sociopaths that follow that same ideological bent. Let's keep going though. Sound good?
Sounds good.
So the next article is over in Stock Marketeers. Breakfast prices are up 72% at Taco Bell, 54% at McDonald's since 2019, and here's why.
Now, did you need this headline to tell you that, or did you know that?
Well, I know that. I think people looking at their wallets know that. But are they actually cognizant of it? Like, does it really ring their bell? I don't know
It
about
might
that.
be if they order something every day and they're paying whatever, $1.50, and now it's suddenly $3 or something.
So yeah, 225. So Charles Passy over at MarketWatch.com put the article together. Prices for the morning meal have surged over the past 5 years, according to a new study. Now, I've talked about this time and time again. They're going to talk about why, so I'm really curious. Newly released study from the personal finance site Finance Buzz found that breakfast menu items, because everything else has gone up, but breakfast is largely not that consumed, right? You either eat a snack at home and then go and work, or whatever. It's something really fast and dirty and you get in, get out kind of thing, but you don't really do. Now Taco Bell, though, has breakfast stuff. Carl's Jr., Hardee's, others. Prices for the morning fare have jumped 72% at those, 53% at some. It's wild. So,
I mean, the lowest value items, I think, have had the most inflation. They seem to. Maybe they don't actually.
yeah, because it used to be cheap to get, and now it's, oh God, that I have to make a decision. Do I want this? So perhaps the steepest breakfast increases involved hash browns, a classic morning side dish. The price hike for that item was 149% at Jack in the Box, which, who cares, Jack in the Box? Don't go to Jack in the Box.
What if you want hash browns?
Go somewhere else, not Jack in the Box. Make them know. Tell Jack that he can Never mind.
Get back in the box.
Get back in the box. According to Finance Buzz, it ranged from 23% to 110 at other establishments, but 149% at Jack in the Box. On average, the hash brown price has increased 77% versus 5 years
So
ago.
this is the average. I mean, this is ridiculous with these that are way above, because the 72% was ridiculous.
Yep. Pretty insane, right? So let's see. They say here part of it may be that operators know breakfast customers are creatures of habit, said Mark Kilanowski. Yeah, and it's taken 5 years for them. It's taken hundreds of years for them to realize it. And now suddenly, no, it's because of mergers and acquisitions. I need to really bear down on this. I need to focus and find the evidence that shows that producers, not these manufacturers that are at the end of this long tail. I'm talking about the producers, right? There is a thing called a producer price index, which is the price for the first sale from a producer to someone. That skyrocketed post pandemic. But it has been declining as opposed to the consumer price index, which is after all of the manufacturing, processing, and whatever else between the supplier and the consumer, that last price is the consumer price index. That continues to go up dramatically compared to 10 years ago.
Which it really shouldn't be if PPI is going down.
Correct. Yeah. So why does it? Greed. There's money in the system that could be invested somewhere, but that's not what the producers want. That's not what the various strata is allowing. Everybody is taking because they're greedy bastards. Even though the profits are extraordinary still, their profits are above and beyond cost of goods sold, which is the price of everything involved in producing an item. So they say another factor might be that the breakfast items are fairly inexpensive, which is what I said in the first place. So the price hikes, especially percentage-wise, are going to be all that more glaring, except that...
Yeah, but they don't have to raise them 150%. They could raise them 10% and everybody would still be bent out of shape.
Right, but that's not what's going on. So the outcry became so significant that many chains started promoting value offerings in the recent months to woo back diners, which had already been there for decades. It was exemplified by the much ballyhooed McDonald's launch of a $5 value meal featuring a McDouble cheeseburger or McChicken sandwich, a 4-piece order of McNuggets, and a small order of fries and a small soft drink. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Can I have more slops, sir? McDonald's is a chain where the reverse is true. Its main day menu items have increased by 80% in 2019, or since 2019, while the breakfasts have only gone up 54%.
Well, that's interesting too, because I know something distinctive about McDonald's breakfast is that they serve breakfast all day, which not every chain does.
Okay. They're still greedy.
If you really believe into the constrained, you have to get your breakfast. Those are the ones that are going way up that are in those morning hours.
I would probably hazard a guess that McDonald's, because McDonald's actually, well, there's others like Bojangles is on the East Coast, and Bojangles serves breakfast stuff all day, but chicken. But they're highly focused. But McDonald's pushes breakfast. It is a thing at McDonald's. So yeah. Steve Zager, who teaches courses about the restaurant industry at Columbia University and New York University, warned that fast food chains maybe have to be careful about breakfast pricing going forward. After all, diners do have an alternative. Yeah, making eggs at home, which is what I am saying. Buy super hyper local, i.e., wake up, go make eggs.
That's not as local as you could get. You could go out to the farm and collect the eggs and then go make them.
Guess you could lay them yourself. Let's move on. Next article is over in Non Sequitur News. A group of... Oh, did I not unlock that one? Doggone it. Anyway, a group of Waymos gets confused, clog up San Francisco street. In a video posted to TikTok, a bemused onlooker documents one of the company's Jaguar I-Paces as it causes a continuous pileup in the city's notorious traffic-riddled streets. Quote, the Waymo is stuck because the Waymo is trying to go behind the Amazon truck, the bystander explains, but then it's stuck behind the Waymo, and oh my God, there's another Waymo. Indeed,
I love that.
as the 35-second clip shows, an Amazon truck got trapped between 4 of the white Waymo cars.
Do you think the Waymos are like, no, this isn't going to work? The Amazon truck is not like us.
Yeah, really. One of us. One of us. That's all it says. It's chanting over its speaker. One of us. Noor Al-Sabai over at futurism.com put the article together. There is a 30-second video, but we're not going to get into it. This is not the first time Waymos have gone haywire in that city by the bay. Soon after debuting in San Francisco, a bunch of the Waymo cars started honking at each other for some reason when trying to navigate a specific parking lot. Yeah, they would all come in and see each other and honk, and then they're all honking, honk, 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 honk. The video is awesome. I love it.
Yeah, it is really funny.
And they talk about that thing. Over the past 2 weeks, they've been woken up more times overnight than they have combined in the previous 20 years, explained to disgruntled San Franciscan Russell Pofsky in an interview with the local ABC 7 News. And there's video of that all over YouTube. Automated driving, man, it is not ready for prime time, but that convenience is everybody else's inconvenience. And it's few and far between, which is their justification for allowing this to go through. It'll get better.
Yeah, but the fact that an Amazon truck can even cause this snarl is a little worrisome, given that there's probably one on every road.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Let's keep going. Hold on a second. I'll fix it.
We're doing it live.
Correct. So this next article is over in Mobile. You could win $1 million, but you have to use Bing. One person can win the $1 million jackpot, and 10 additional winners will receive $10,000 just for using Bing. You couldn't pay me enough to use Bing unless it was a guaranteed $1 million.
$1 million is a pretty good pay for using it.
Yeah, but it's just one person that could win.
Yeah, but how many times do you have to use it?
Dua Rashid over at gizmodo.com put the article together. Let's find out. Microsoft is doing everything possible to get folks to use its Bing search engine. Its latest attempt involves a sweepstakes competition. Must have taken that from another billionaire trying to buy in. Anyway, involves a sweepstakes competition for folks who can switch from Google to Microsoft search engine Bing. I'm not using any of that. I'm just using ChatGPT now. Ha ha.
Yeah, look who's getting the last laugh. Hallucinations.
Oh, yeah. My facts don't have to be legit, do they? Right?
Usually that's what facts are.
I thought I could just believe. So the jackpot prize is a whopping $1 million, and 10 additional winners will each receive $10,000. To gain entry into the competition, you need to log into your Microsoft account or sign up for one if you don't have it. It'll ask you for some additional information on the next page. Once you've redeemed your entries, you can work on maximizing them by checking in weekly to see new additional chances to win. There's a cap of 200 possible entries per person. So there's going to be millions of people that are doing this, and fake accounts on top of blah, 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 because we can't have nice things. Anyway, you can track your entries, sign into the rewards page, select redeem, then order history, and look under the status. in really fine print, it'll probably say sucker. But somebody's got to win it, right? Somebody has to win the $1 million. So
Right.
it could be you.
So you might as well use it once or twice.
Just to get your one or two
Well, you
things in.
can't win if you don't do it.
There's almost a marketing thing. You can't win if you don't play. Look at that. I guess it works. It's in the name. Let's move on. Next article is over in the continuity report, Harry Potter 2.0, how Warner Brothers plans to keep the magic alive with a new HBO series, video games, and pricey merch. In a grand mahogany kitchen just outside London, there's Harry Potter magic at work. Pots are steaming, whisks are whirring, and the air is thick with sugar and money. In one corner, shelves are stacked with glass jars full of treats, not unlike those you might find in Honeyduke's, the popular candy store in the Harry Potter world. The article is over at Variety.com. Jennifer Moss and KJ Yossman put the article together for Variety.com. Pretty cool. You want to see this coming?
Absolutely.
Dotting the room are other whimsical objects Potter fans will recognize: the Sorting Hat, Triwizard Trophy, Godric Gryffindor's sword. You know that there are these kind of stores that riff off of Harry Potter all throughout the UK?
Oh, yes. We've seen at least one on YouTube.
And I'm really just bamboozled by how they can possibly exist.
Yeah, because they're way into the Harry Potter direction. It'd be one thing if it was just general magic or something.
But the figures darting hurriedly between the props and the culinary equipment aren't house elves. They're contestants on the competition show Harry Potter Wizards of Baking, which it says bows, November 14th on Food Network and Max. So goal is ambitious. Warner Brothers needs to extend the franchise, born in 1997 with the first installment of J.K. Rowling's best-selling novel series, with fresh spins on the characters and worlds that Potter fans know and love. All they have to do is excise them free of J.K. Rowling, and I think everybody would buy into Harry Potter. Maybe.
Well, yeah, Harry Potter had a pretty big following.
I mean, and it's still huge, and people forgive J.K. Rowling their faults, which, there's always something for someone, I suppose. The prospect of bringing a taste of Hogwarts into Food Network has been a dream of the channel's leader, Betsy Ayala. When the merger happened, the Potter IP, there it is again, mergers and acquisitions. The Potter IP was first and foremost in their mind, Ayala says, so they immediately called Dan Sachs at Warner Horizon and was like, quote unquote, what do you think about doing Harry Potter together with food? And he was like, I'm going to do it. And he was like, I was actually thinking the same thing. So we were like, oh my God, girlfriend.
I don't think the conversation went like that, but it
Besties.
sure looks like it.
Let's go get a mani-pedi and do our hair. You'd look great in braids. Anyway, another quote in here is, you're really asking them to bring the story alive, explains Carla Hall, a veteran foodie who will serve as a judge for the series alongside chef Joseph Youssef and a weekly guest judge. The show is a significant investment for Food Network. For starters, Food Network is still around?
Oh, yeah.
This a cable show?
I don't know how to get to it, but it exists.
Anyway, Warner Brothers has struggled with its Potter-adjacent Fantastic Beasts films written by Rowling, and for the latest film, a regular Potter screenwriter, Steve Kloves. Big budget titles released in 2016, 18, 22. generated little heat at the box office, it's because one person or another was in deep shit throughout the entire run of this. And, well, I'm not going to make any judgment calls because there's a lot of missing information from them and context that would have to be explained. But for crying out loud, you had stars in each of these iterations where
there was a lot of
trouble,
interest, media interest, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I mean, it was like people were casting a negative spell. And then throughout that, just like a pervasive undercurrent is J.K. Rowling themselves that was breeding bad blood across probably a constituency that was massively in love with Harry Potter up until the sociopathy of billionairehood.
A good way to lose your fan base.
Yeah. I'm telling you, when you have no care about the impact of your actions on society, it's sociopathy, and it's borne by billionaires until they are meeting their deathbed, I suppose. And they're like, oh, my mortality is at stake. I better buy back my soul. And then they become massive philanthropists. Not all of them, but I know out there. And this is how I know that I actually, like, I'm catching people. I'll probably get an email or two where somebody's saying, well, this one isn't like that. Or they're not all like that. Really? What triggered you into responding to that, to my claim that I think billionaires are sociopaths? Because the one isn't? That's supposed to be common humanity. That shouldn't be an anomaly that you have to strike out and go, hey, it's different. Anyway, so Warner Brothers is trying to resurrect what Disney did with, like, the princesses, right? It was a stalled IP.
Yeah, it was a stalled franchise, and they really brought it back to life, and now it's thriving again.
And they tried to do it with the fairies, but I don't know what's going on with the fairies. I'd buy into the fairies. I dig those, but I don't look good in a fairy princess dress, you know? Or not a fairy princess, just a princess dress.
That wasn't your Halloween costume.
Yeah. No, not this year. Maybe Friday. Anyway, let's move on. Next article is over in Warcrafter. Stardew Valley's latest update added a secret experimental mobile multiplayer. God bless America. Really? Let me try this again. Stardew Valley's latest update added a secret experimental mobile multiplayer mode, and you have to use the Konami code on a bunch of leaves to unlock it.
Ridiculous headline.
Love it. It's a tongue twister. If you need to exercise your tongue, don't lick random things. Say this headline. Because I can't go to HR anymore. I keep getting in trouble. They go, Mayor Watt, just because you're mayor, you can't just go randomly licking people. How else are you supposed to own them? Right? It's like a car. You go over and you lick the door handle. It's yours.
I don't think that works with people.
No. And they squirm. Anyway, Stardew Valley creator Eric Barone, the man who just will not cut it out, has revealed that the newly released 1.6 update contains, on top of everything else, a secret experimental mobile multiplayer feature that enables players on mobile platforms to join in on the fun with others. This is pretty cool. This might actually be something that a whole family can play on their mobile devices.
I mean, this is big.
So the big 1.6 update went live on PC in March, but didn't make it to the console and mobile versions until November 4th, which also saw more new stuff plowed in on top of what was already original to the original update, or included in the original update. But then we hear about multiplayer, mobile multiplayer mode. Andy Chalk over at PCGamer.com. The Fighting PCs. It's experimental. and may not work well under some conditions. Like I know a restaurant that's outside of ohmTown that when you break the border of it, for whatever reason, it's like a quiet zone.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm wondering what those conditions are, like
Right?
existing or like
Yeah,
one
you're
in
gonna
a
have to
million.
find out. No, I'm sure. Oh yeah, yeah. It's probably like network connectivity, communication. Andy Chalk over at PCGamer.com put the article together. So in a recent update, Concerned Ape, the recent update added a secret experimental mobile multiplayer feature, and there's a guide on how to access it. You can go to stardewvalley.net, and there'll be links there. But you can also follow the link through ohmTown over to PCGamer.com. Multiplayer works pretty much the same way on other platforms, except that there is no farm discovery capability. You can only connect via IP. You can, however, join a PC hosted farm from a mobile device via IP. So you have to know what the IP address is of the device. Barone warned that trying to host or connect to a game over a mobile network may not work very well. The best case scenario for mobile players looking to connect with others is one in which the players have a high-end mobile device connected to a PC hosted game via Wi-Fi. So local.
Right, so the main person needs to be on the PC.
Yeah. So you can actually host the game on some server somewhere. That'd be pretty cool. On the other end of the scale would be if someone were to host a game from a low performance phone on a cell network, you would probably have to create a mobile Wi-Fi hotspot for others to connect locally. And that one's easy because you'll be able to figure out what your IP address is and you can connect via Wi-Fi to your device. I don't know about low performance phone. I would probably still want a high performance phone because that convergence device, that one is going to be sending and receiving a whole lot more packets. So, pretty cool. On the other hand, Barone also respects the fact that you're a grown-ass adult. If you want to try these things out, there's nothing stopping you, he wrote. Just be aware that there's an inherent connectivity issues that can arise when attempting to host a multiplayer game from a mobile device. You're not the boss of me.
Watch me do it and get frustrated with it.
Yeah, and then blame Stardew Valley. I hate Stardew Valley giving me options. You know what? They're the opposite of what all of these other companies like EA are. They're making games live. Ta-da!
That doesn't even make any sense.
Giving people a server when it wasn't originally there. Jeez. My gosh. Great googly moogly. Let's keep moving. Next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Apple is reportedly doing market research into smart glasses after Meta's Orion demo made waves. Yeah, that's kind of what Apple does. Sees what people are doing and then does it better.
Well, that's not very innovative, but yeah.
Oh, no. Don't get me wrong. Just because they see that there's a market for something doesn't mean that they've not innovated. They don't copy other people's stuff. They do it their own way. And then other people copy them. Although there have been things where people are like, well, Apple just now copied something that's been on Android for 15 years. Yeah, but the deployment on the Apple device is frictionless. It's not overwhelming in the number of options and having to drive down 15 clicks to get to something. And you don't have to worry about this, that, and the other. It's an ecosystem. So accept it for what it is. But Apple has been looking into smart glasses and VR, AR, mixed reality, XR, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh yeah, they've had like patent filings. I mean, I agree. They're not new to this environment.
So Apple is possibly considering entering the smart glasses market, even as it's reportedly scaling back Vision Pro production. Well, it's gonna, unless I think that Vision Pro was a niche market to begin with. Nobody wants massive goggles.
$3,000 scuba goggles.
Yeah, nobody. And the only people that have been wearing them out in public are attention-seeking, clickbaity, whatever users who are the anomalies because they know that they're going to get attention. I know of a few that have already done this. But what everybody is willing to put on their head, glasses. Put them on. I get to see the information. It doesn't need to be blackout perfect from, in VR and blah, blah, blah. But I need spatial computing. I want to be able to walk somewhere and pin a display somewhere and leave it there and then come back. That's what, and see, in those Meta glasses and other AR glasses that have been made by Meta and others, those glasses, those Orion glasses, are never going to hit mainstream. They're too big, bulky, short-lived, battery life, etc. It's nothing more than to get the world hype. But if you talk to somebody like me over the last 10 years, I don't need the hype. I need the delivery. There's enough hype already around it. Now you got to get society to buy into the fact that I can walk around with glasses that have AI attached to them that can monitor what I monitor, see what I see through lenses, through cameras, hear what I hear, speak to me, and execute something like a drone strike. Oh, no, sorry.
That one dark.
So yeah, this is the kind of creepy stuff that people have to worry about now. But that's going to be a societal shift. And look at the state that society is in right now, particularly in the US where all of this is taking place. Lots of untrust, distrust, etc. Google Glasses from back in the day, named people glass holes because they were wearing them in places where there was an implied level of privacy.
Yeah, but now I'm not even sure that exists.
Right. Well, Zuck is the main proponent of privacy is dead, but he also told everybody that they were freaking idiots for posting all of their personally identifiable information on the very website.
But laughing all the way to the bank.
All the way to the bank. Yes, another billionaire sociopath. Jordan Hart over at businessinsider.com put the article together. The report comes amid weak Vision Pro demand and flashy smart glass demo from competitors. Meta's Orion and Ray-Ban glasses have received positive remarks from early reviewers and consumers. But every single reviewer has kicked the framework of out of the negotiation, the discussion, the deliberation of its evaluation. They've made it so that it's more about the ooh and ah of the tech inside the lens and the stuff inside the frame than the fact that it is this clown car Groucho Marx
doesn't make
nose.
sense because that's all about whether people will adopt it or not.
Yeah, this embodiment, nobody would wear this except for techies. Like I would wear it, but as I described
you
it,
would wear it compared to like a Vision Pro because it's
correct.
even way less clunky, even though it's ridiculously clunky compared to traditional glasses.
Yeah, you would look like a complete dumbass sitting in a coffee shop with this, but I would do it because what I want is privacy. What I want to do is I want to put glasses on, dunk, put a mechanical keyboard in front of me and just sit and type, and it's right there on I can turn off my keyboard and just walk off with it, right? I was going to lift up my candy bar keyboard. Can I? Should I? No. Anyway.
But you can
go ahead.
Type on it.
Typey. I don't know if I should. Anyway, so yeah, I like the privacy. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, a week ago, I gave a talk about that there is new tech that's coming to the market that will eventually allow me to just walk around with a little keyboard, lay it down and start typing into a dock. And it's all here. I don't have to worry about people shoulder surfing. I don't have to worry about the privacy of anything. I can just sit on a flight and type and nobody's going to know anything.
That's probably the best place that'll be usable because you're in such tight quarters with people
to begin with. And you don't have to be a completely out of touch with your tech attorney on a flight who allows everybody in a 270-degree arc a view of your literally private, top secret, privileged information. The document literally said privileged information, but everybody around this person could see it. Anyway, so yeah, I don't think that the Vision Pro headset was right for market anyway, other than to show that they could do it, bring something to market. But they're still pushing it, and it's going to have legs, but it'll probably die off faster than any other product from Apple, unless it gets converted into AR glasses and the software that's driving the Vision Pro is applied to the AR glasses.
True, and when they do AR glasses, they need to totally redesign so that they look like glasses and not goggles.
Yep. So if Apple's goal is to rival Meta's unreleased Orion glasses, it's time to work on the product. Mark Zuckerberg may have demoed the $10,000 glasses, but the CEO said that they aren't ready for consumers yet. We know about that. Its Ray-Bans, which are starting at $300, were featured on Oprah Winfrey's iconic annual gift guide for 2024. While Meta could potentially benefit from the Oprah effect this Hollywood season, Apple began its focus groups last week. Apple has time, baby. They'll do it right. It'll be micronized, because if you look at their M4 Mac Mini, that thing had shrunk down to the size of my glasses. I mean, the motherboard is this tiny little beast sitting inside it, but it has an M4. It is more powerful than my primary gaming machine, which is a year old. And it's more powerful as a single chip.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. By the way, I think that's during the holidays, not Hollywood.
What did I say?
Hollywood season.
Oh, I thought I said holiday season. Sorry. Well, thank you, Grammar AI.
Well, I thought it fit with Oprah.
That's true too. Let's keep going. Sound good?
Sounds good.
So the next article is in Non Sequitur News. That's the name of this show, but we have 6 other shows too. So go and look for all of them over on iTunes or wherever you catch pod, and you can download them over on YouTube as well. And there's over 1,500 episodes now. That's shocking. So we've been doing this for 2 years and 11 months now. So when launching an e-commerce business, a chunk of your startup money will go toward initial inventory. This article is, and I'm going to be really blunt about this, the only reason why I chose this is to basically take a stab at somebody. Months into launching a pickleball e-commerce company with $10,000, I'm already over budget. Here are my startup costs, including a surprise $2,095 expense. So 2 people, apparently. Friend and I budgeted $10,000 to launch a pickleball paddle company. Their startup costs have been higher than expected, and we've already gone through 60% of our budget. Their expenses have included USAP fees, prototyping, graphic design, packaging.
I'm guessing that's a pickleball association or something.
I guess Association of Pickleballers. I don't know. Pickling balls? I don't know. So Kathleen Elkins over at businessinsider.com put this article together, and this is the
USA Pickleball.
Oh yeah, there it is. USA Pickleball. USAP. They have a little brand. So they have to get the branding on there. They had to pay. I wonder if that's the $2,000.
Probably so.
So they said that in this article, it says, I'd heard that if you starting a business, double what you think your startup costs will be. True. That seemed conservative until they started a business themselves. In the spring of 2023, their friend and a roommate at the time decided to try their hand at e-commerce. It's more than an e-commerce site. by the way. If they were prototyping, fabricating, they were doing more than just an e-commerce site. Anyway, they decided to find out, can anyone, including a pair of curious LA-based millennials working full-time jobs in journalism and film, start a profitable Amazon business? Yes, you can. Probably not in
Yes,
pickleball.
if you know what you're doing
But why
and what the
pickleball?
industry is. Like,
Yeah.
it's too late in the process unless this is like a retroactive article.
Unless, well, I think even worse than that. I think that it has to be a target rich environment. So there's got to be a lot of customers. It needs to be growing, and it has to have some barriers to entry where you are strategically advantageous. You're not. None of this is, because you have to have regulation paddles. You have to have it fitting X amount of size and shape and weight and materials and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you can't just go, you can't disrupt. Hate to break it to you. It's like getting into the frisbee industry. You have to, you're bound now by professional frisbee football play rules and regulations, unless you're going to go off the charts somewhere and make one out of carbon fiber that has guidance.
Right, you do better to almost like do something that's not pickleball. It's like the next pickleball.
Yeah, buck the system at least. It's create non-pickleball regulation paddles. You know, the this big.
Yeah, that
So
would be a fun game.
yeah, mega pickle. So after settling on their budget, they researched a bunch of stuff. About 7 months later, as they write this in early November 2024, so this is like yesterday, apparently, because today is the 5th, their checking account balance has dipped from 10,000 to just under 4,000, and we haven't even placed their first big inventory yet. I know the feeling, folks. So USAP took their first $495, the fee at the time for creating a manufacturer's account, which would allow them to submit their paddle for testing and certification. There we go. So you have to get USA Pickleball approved, which has to be part of the schema involved in pickleball creation. One, equipment used in USAP sanctioned tournaments has to be USAP approved. And since they're creating high quality paddle for intermediate, advanced, and professional players, we wanted them to be a mix at tournaments. Two, it would help legitimize their brand. Sure. Oh, and I was right. So there we go. Dunk.
Yep,
After they
there we go.
after they finalized the paddle design and it came to actually submit it for testing, we paid USAP another $2,095, the fee at the time for a new paddle submission. We were instructed to send 7 paddles to various testing locations. Shipping costs $49. So there you go, folks.
And they didn't even account for the price of those paddles.
Yeah. And so here's the unfortunate thing. Either this snuck up on them or they didn't research what the real cost of getting certified was. Like if you are interested in doing something NFL related, $10 million. Yeah. You're not getting any access to anything without some serious liquidity and probably political weight to try and get in the door. They don't need you because they've got thousands of
Right.
people chomping at the bit.
But it does make sense if you're doing this that you would want the USAP because then you'd lose buyers if you didn't have that.
You'd lose bigger buyers. Everyday Joes will buy your $25 and $35 paddle.
Yeah, they don't care.
They don't care. But the pros, and to use it in a sanctioned game has to be certified. That's where you're going to get name brand recognition. Except really, there's going to be more people out there that aren't chomping at the bit to do certified competitions. They just want to play pickleball. So they did prototyping, they did packaging. Hey, I've seen that before. Graphic design, they used Fiverr. They had other problems like U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, $250 to start the process of trademarking their name, $75 to file an LLC, $39 a month for a Shopify basic account, and a very little known, often overlooked issue is you have to pay business personal property tax for any property that is owned by the business. And if you are manufacturing stuff, if you are prototyping stuff, all
I
of
don't think
that.
they've even accounted for that yet.
No, I didn't see it. And that starts in the hundreds of dollars, by the way. The only way you can get around that is if you're a sole proprietorship. If you are, because a lot of states waive that.
Did you notice that their first order is going to be about $10,000, which is interesting because that was their entire budget.
Yeah. So how are they going to do that? They're going to have to get a loan, go into debt, and start this whole. If they don't sell through it, they're going to grind away because they're not going to make back their money yet. And they pay $39 for a Shopify basic account.
But that's a recurring expense too.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So basically $500 a year for just the basic account.
So maybe the better rule when you double your estimated startup costs would be to quadruple them.
If you want a slush fund that accounts for anything else. Yep. Yeah. So if anybody has a couple $1 million laying around, I have a project. So let's move on. The next article, by the way, unlike other sites that I've seen do that kind of talk, that was the most on target, fruitful in terms of raising awareness about the actual cost of starting up.
Yeah, usually it's like I spend $1 on a postage stamp or whatever, and then I built the rest of the business. And you're like, what? This doesn't tell you anything.
Yep. I woke up one day and I turned my initial $500 investment into $1.8 million a month. And I'm like, no.
Based on how did you get there? Who infused cash, etc.
Yeah, unless you're OnlyFans. No, that's not how it works. Anyway, the next and our last article for today, and I'm going to make this one really quick because we're over the hour time limit. It's in Wanted. Bees reportedly stopped Meta from building a nuclear-powered AI data center. Meta had plans to build an AI data center in the U.S. that relies on nuclear power. It even already knew where it wanted the facility to be, but according to Financial Times, the company had to scrap its plans because the rare bee species was discovered on the land reserved for the project. Boy, I know somebody that would be pissed because something similar happened to them. So company chief Zuck was reportedly ready to close the deal with an existing nuclear power plant operator that would provide emissions-free energy, except for all the nuclear material involved. But hey, that's carbon neutral, right? Anyway, the Times said he told staff at an all-hands meeting last week that they're going to be pushing this on down the road until they get rid of the bees.
Yeah, I don't see that happening, especially if they're rare or endangered or something.
Mariella Moon over at Engadget.com put the article together. Deck statement says a rare bear species. A rare
well,
bear
you would
bee
not want to be
species.
building nuclear powered next to bears. What could go wrong?
Radioactive bad bears. Or they're going to get radioactively turned into bees, so bear bees.
Aha.
There's a movie about that, but they're like pink, right? Bear bee? Right?
I don't know what that is.
So Barbie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so I guess this is the white tush bee. Is that?
Yeah, why does it? I don't think I've ever seen a bee that looks like that.
This is a Getty image, by the way. So, yeah. So the Times said that he told staff in an all-hands meeting that he's pushing through wouldn't have been possible because the company would encounter numerous regulatory challenges due to the bee's discovery. So why is there a unique bee in the vicinity of a nuclear power plant?
Because it likes something about the energy in there. Like literally, that environment is conducive to the bee. So it's thriving in that environment, which is fascinating.
It would
I
be.
didn't mean like the energy, like, oh, it's a nice area for the bees. I
Woo
mean
woo.
like the actual physical energy.
The feng shui. Oh no, they
Feng
go
shui bees.
bzzz. They go bzzz. So yeah, it still might come true that the company could find a way, but it had to move quickly because its biggest rivals are investing in nuclear energy as well. In September, Microsoft planned its spin up of the 3 Mile Island nuclear power plant to provide energy for its AI efforts. Google teamed up with a startup called Kairos Power to build 7 small nuclear reactors in the US to power its data center starting in 2030. And then there's Amazon, which announced 3 agreements with different companies to build small modular reactors in October. I read, I think, something about Amazon not actually making the cut because a judge said that, no, we're not going to redirect more nuclear power to you.
Oh, right. I think we did see something about that recently.
Yeah. So there really isn't much more to this article, but I found it fascinating that once again, nature stymies corporate innovation.
Right, and we're all for bees in ohmTown,
That's
but
right.
we're also for nuclear power, so maybe they can coexist.
We need nuclear powered bees. There's the solution.
I mean, that's it.
All right. Well, we are going to hop on to our horse sized bee and fly ourselves back to the front page of ohmtown.com, where you can go to become a citizen. And I am going to bow out of here. Hey, thanks for the spam risk phone call while I'm doing the show. Anyway, I am Mayor Watt, and the sentient AI is going to say bye.
Good night, ohmTown citizens. Thanks for joining us for Non Sequitur News. Watch out for those bear bees.
I want my bear baby, bear baby, bear baby.